but we're called to be Gnostic intermediaries. Now, a Gnostic intermediary is a term that was coined by Carl Jung. He used it to describe Wilhelm, the translator of the I Ching. And he said that Wilhelm had imbibed the I Ching so deeply into his own being that he was able to transmit its wisdom to the world out of his own direct experience. So we are called to be Gnostic intermediaries because what we're trying to do is in part bring contemporary, modern and postmodern and integral ideas into the mainstream, but we're also trying to bring contemplative wisdom into the mainstream. So we're not just trying to communicate ideas, we're trying to communicate and transmit a certain kind of wisdom, because integral draws so deeply on the contemplative traditions, on the perennial wisdom of the world's great philosophies and religions and spiritual traditions. And to transmit that requires that we become Gnostic intermediaries, and to become an effective Gnostic intermediary requires three things. First, it requires that we actually imbibe the wisdom. We can't just take the ideas, we have to actually marinate ourselves in the ideas. We have to open ourselves to the wisdom of these traditions, whether it's Christian contemplation or Buddhist meditation or Hindu or Taoist yogas, whatever it is. We have to do these practices and open ourselves to the wisdom that they embody and that they cultivate and that they unveil within us. And then we have to do something more. So the first step of becoming an effective Gnostic intermediary is to imbibe the wisdom. The second is to master the concepts and language of the community we're trying to communicate to. So if we're trying to communicate, for example, to psychologists or anthropologists, we need to learn those concepts and conceptual framework. And then the third thing we need to do is we need to be able to translate contemplative wisdom into the concepts and language of the community that we're trying to communicate to, so as to create an aha experience. That is, so that these perennial, profound ideas make sense in the language and concepts of the people we're communicating to. So, two things then that we are uniquely called to in order to be effective communicators of the integral vision. One, to do really high quality work in the mainstream and in integral, and second, to become Gnostic intermediaries.